Hello, good evening. I remember when we had our first baby, and it was very very difficult in terms of obviously waking up in the midnight and having to first experience having to feed the baby, and we did that for for like a year plus or so, or even maybe almost 2 years or so, and that period was very very difficult. But there is something that I always have at the back of my mind, and that thing is that it's not going to be forever. It will definitely not going to be forever. And that is the truth. And that is just the reality of life. And today, on Marriage Series, I'll be talking about patience in marriage. In the midst of frustration, in the midst of, depression, in the midst of confusion, it is very important to actually be patient. And there is no one that is perfect. Nobody is absolutely perfect. But there is something I always tell couples is that no matter the circumstances that you're going through, no matter what it is that you're facing today, it will definitely pass. That phase will pass. That stage will pass. You will look back, a few years or months after, few years after, and then you feel like, oh my God, you know, if you give up, obviously, like that is not a solution. Giving up is not a solution. But there is something I would just want you to know that temptation will always come, difficult situation will always come, and it is very important to communicate clearly and obviously understand the root of that frustration and address it on time as well, and be patient with one another in order to actually work things together. In fact, that period, if you can survive it, it will actually add more value and more spice to your marriage, because obviously situations are things are bound to happen in marriage, and how we deal with it really really matters. So in your marriage today, it could be maybe you're just waiting for the fruit of the womb, and it looks as if okay things you're so frustrated and things are not just working the way it is. I just wanted to kind of ask you to be patient, because it will definitely happen. It will surely happen if you have that belief in you that it will, and it will definitely happen. Be patient with one another, communicate with one another, and then obviously, yeah, understand the root of the frustration. And once you understand the root of the frustration, have that clear communication. And obviously, occupy your mind with something meaningful, with something motivating as well that can lift your spirit. And obviously, sometimes, it could just be about financial side of things that could actually, lead to frustration or depression. Obviously, things will definitely get better. In fact, in marriage, things always get better. I share my story about when me and my wife when we had our first baby, and it was very difficult. The second baby as well, waking up in the night was very very difficult. In fact, even the last one that we have right now is just about 7 months old, and I still find it extraordinarily difficult to wake up in the middle of the night and feed the baby, or for my wife to wake up in the middle of the night and feed the baby. And it's just that phase, definitely that phase will pass. It will, things, we grow as well as human beings. It is a spirit of us to grow. And there is something I just want you to know. In the midst of confusion, in the midst of frustration, in the midst of depression, always have that faith in you and be patient with yourself. Be patient with your spouse. Do not be too hard on yourself, because that is where the devil actually comes in and ready to actually break everything, to destroy everything. Remember, devil has nothing to offer than to destroy. And I just want you to kind of hold yourself very tight, no matter the circumstances that you're facing, no matter the situation. It could even be work situation that sometimes people are frustrated and depressed because of work, because maybe they just couldn't get a job, or maybe the work that they are in, they want to change it and they just couldn't move on, because they couldn't secure another one. Just be patient. Be patient, and in the midst of your waiting, just show the right character. And thank you very much for listening today. And that's the marriage series for today, which I call patience in marriage. Very very important. And then I'll continue with a part two next week as well. Thank you, and see you next week. Bye.